Turn the love up a little bit louder. Rep the king just a little bit prouder. Putting hope on the radio. See why? Gonna let them know it's the inspirational power hour.
You're listening to the Inspirational Power Hour podcast with your host, Chandra Wise. This is a podcast for anyone who loves gospel music. We go behind the music and talk to the singers, songwriters, and producers, and the community that loves and supports the genre. And every now and again, you'll hear from people and stories that will uplift and inspire you. And today is no different. During this episode, I got a chance to talk with my fellow radio personality from Jackson, Mississippi, Miss Tambra Cherie. She talked to me about her very first book, Surrounded by Sin, Grounded by Love. And it was a great conversation that I cannot wait to share with you guys. Now, as always, make sure that you're following online at Chandra Wise on Instagram and on Twitter. And on Facebook, make sure that you like the Inspirational Power Hour fan page. All right, guys, let's get right into this week's conversation.
Inspirational Power Hour.
So, guys, I'm talking about none other than Miss Tambra Cherie. And listen, she has an incredible book that we're talking about, Surrounded by Sin, Grounded in Love. Did I get the title right?
Yeah, Surrounded by Sin, Grounded by Love.
Grounded by Love.
Yes.
And guys, listen, Tambra released this book how long ago now?
It's just been a couple of months, actually.
Yeah.
Well, a few months, actually, now. So it's been super, super exciting. It's been super supportive. I'm very grateful and thankful and super humble about that.
Mm-hmm.
Even you came to the actual release of the book, so I appreciate you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. And just the support has just been amazing, amazing, amazing. And I'm realizing, literally, when you do things like this, it really is a full-time job.
Yeah.
Yeah. I felt like I'm dropping an album.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
And what I enjoy most is the feedback that I get from people who have read the book and it actually helps them in some way. That's what I enjoyed the most. That was the entire purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's dive into the book itself. First of all, when did you know that you needed or wanted to write a book?
Literally, it crossed my mind years ago.
Okay.
I literally probably wrote the title down, Surrounded by Sin, Grounded by Love. I probably wrote the title down probably about 2000, maybe 14, 15.
Really?
Yeah, it was years ago.
Okay.
It was years ago. I have to really go back and look at my notes, but it was years ago. And it was basically because I feel like every day and at the times I was growing, in just being in the entertainment industry, that I'm surrounded by sin every day, but I've always been grounded by love, meaning that just because I'm surrounded by it, I don't have to participate in it.
Right.
I don't have to fall for it or participate or even just the values that I have. I don't have to compromise those just to achieve what I want to achieve.
Right.
So I came up with the title years ago, and I will say this: when God puts something in your heart and you do not follow that at that moment, He is going to allow things to start happening in your life where you're going to have to pay attention.
Absolutely.
And He's going to get you to follow up and finish what He wants you to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So now, of course, I know you in the context because we are both just kind of sister radio hosts right here, WRBJ, Jackson, Mississippi. And first of all, I have to say I've been here. Oh my gosh, Tambra, I've been here maybe 7 years, maybe.
Time goes by so fast when you're having fun.
Yeah, it does.
It really does.
It does.
It really does.
Yeah.
Somebody had to remind me how long I've actually been in the radio because I'm
Yeah.
like, oh no, it's just been like something. They're like, no, it hasn't.
Yeah,
it goes by so fast when you're having a good time.
Yeah. But, from the moment I started just immediately embracing, I think I remember getting feedback at the time. A lot of people would have expected me maybe to go to a station that had gospel as an overall format.
Right.
But
Correct.
that wasn't God's direction,
Absolutely.
That wasn't God's direction. And so I know His timing, His direction is always so important whenever you're launching out.
And He puts you where you are most needed.
You know what?
Yes.
And I will say, I tell people all the time, I wouldn't have it any other way.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't have it any other way. And I think people have a perception about maybe entertainment, that it's all one way. But when you're exactly where God wants you to be, then He will make your path straight. And you talk about that a little bit in the book too. Yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I
So
do.
so what nuggets in the book is it that you want people to really just take away from?
I think the subtitle is 8 Simple Keys to Grow Up to pretty much becoming a better you.
Yeah.
I always say that it takes a genuine effort to become a better you. And I know for me, it has been, and I will say from now to where I am, it's been about growth. And it takes an effort to really work on you. Just how you work on everything else.
Yes.
You have to work on yourself.
Yes.
That takes effort. It takes commitment.
Yeah,
it
work.
is work.
It is.
You have to put in the work to actually get where you want to be and get those results. So yes. And so that's a part of, I want people to take away that's just knowing that growing.
Yeah.
It is a beautiful thing. You're going to have all of these things that come throughout life that's going to challenge you and you're going to be faced with. But when you have it, it's all about how you handle things too.
Yeah.
Like I talk about that in the book, how you handle things and how you grow. And that comes with growth. Some things that I might have responded to with a totally different response 5 years ago, literally today, I don't even give it a second thought.
Yeah.
So it's growth.
And that's one of the things that I was going to ask you. What are those noticeable growth areas that you kind of mentioned, that just your response to things, but what other areas, in your life personally, can you look at and say, man, I've grown in that way? Mentally,
physically, emotionally,
everything,
every aspect of
gamut.
My life, everything, even professionally. And I'm still growing. I'm still growing. And you notice when you're in a season of growth, you're going to be tested so many times. And I'm still being tested to this day. But you have to protect your peace, protect your peace of mind, protect your anything that I feel like you entertain, anything that you give your attention to, you're entertaining it, like anything. So I think that it just comes from a place that I want people to take, from the book. It's so many keys in here that I really want people to know that you can actually really work on to becoming a better you. But I think there are so many things that throughout our daily lives, I don't want to go on and on and on, but it's so many things that I think people can take as far as when it comes emotionally, when it comes to as far as your mind and your mental and just being in a peaceful place. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because one of the biggest battles that we fight is just we're always in our own head, Yes. And, sometimes we can doubt ourselves.
Yes.
And when you add that on top of the chatter that's all around you. So how do you encourage people to kind of, number one, deal with that chatter that's coming from without, but also those, negative thoughts or doubt that comes from within?
No one should have any type of control over you when it automatically changes your mood. That is something that that you practice on each and every single day, because you're going to be faced with challenges every day. You're going to be faced with someone, maybe it's a coworker. It could be even a spouse.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to do something that's not always going to be pleasing in your eye. But you have to, nobody can have that, because you give your power away when you allow people to change your mood.
Absolutely.
When you allow people to change how you were feeling the day, you are giving your power away. So we need to learn how to take our power back. Like, it's okay. I talk in the book about saying no. Like, for so long, it was hard for me to say no to certain things. Now I have a better understanding that no is a complete sentence, and it is absolutely okay to say no. People would avoid saying no. They will avoid your email. They will avoid your call. They will avoid your text just so they can avoid saying no. I was guilty of that. I hate to say someone no. So yeah, I might avoid an email.
Yeah.
I might not answer this email. I might not answer this, or I didn't see this. So you learn how to say no and feel okay with saying no, because it gives you power.
Yes.
It gives you power to that. So little key things just such as that, it helps. And it can be minor things in your life. When you make minor changes in your life, you're going to get major results just from the minor things.
Yeah. Yeah. So guys, listen, again, talking to none other than Miss Tambra Cherie, and we're talking about her incredible new book, Surrounded by Sin, Grounded by Love. So, let's talk a little bit about identifying your surroundings when you realize that you may be in a less than nurturing, less than, a less than growing situation or a toxic situation, what's one of the first things to do when you realize that maybe you're surrounded by some situations that are that are holding you back?
Literally, they used to say holding you back. So not as kind of like, as far as situations, do you mean like you said toxic?
Toxic, yeah. And it can be at home. That can be
anywhere.
Personal, it can be at work.
Anywhere.
Friendships. Anything that causes you that stops you from growing, that causes you to deny yourself, that stops you from being yourself. You know how sometimes you don't really feel free to be yourself around other people?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's something you have to work on as well. That's about your power. I always say this, whatever you allow, good or bad, will continue. No matter whatever it is. If it's good, whatever you allow, good or bad,
Absolutely.
it will always continue. So you have to stop the cycle. You have the power to do that. If
Absolutely.
you want it to stop, you have the power to say, no, I'm not growing here. This is not beneficial to me, nor could it be beneficial to you. You know, I'm one of those persons, I like to see the good in everything. I will say that. I like to see the good in people. That could be situations. That could be, homes, as far as jobs, anything. I always like to see the good in people or any situation. But sometimes we have to stop doing that.
Yeah.
We have to stop doing that because that can also be a downfall.
Yeah.
When you're trying to see the good in everything, you're almost not recognizing how much bad it is. And that could even be bad for whatever you're seeing because you're not pretty much focusing on the bad in that situation.
Absolutely.
Or the negative in that situation. And who's that benefiting?
Absolutely, because when you're not honest with yourself, you're not able to be honest with other people.
Absolutely.
You know, and that might even cause someone in that situation to stop growing because you're not being honest with them.
Correct. That's what who's it benefiting?
Yeah.
No one is benefiting from that.
Yeah.
No one. I'm the type of person, not only do I want to grow, I want people around me to grow.
Absolutely.
Yes. Like
Absolutely.
I want people around me to grow. So if it's not benefiting, not either myself, nor I see it's benefiting you, that's a toxic situation right there. You know,
Yeah.
we both have to want to grow and see and identify. I even talk about communication in the book.
Now that's
like
key.
how important communication
Incredibly,
is. I was one of those people. I have learned to communicate better to this day because I was literally one of those people when people made me upset, I was shut down. Totally shut down just to prevent myself from saying things that, when sometimes you say things you really don't mean when you're upset. And so to prevent doing any of that, I literally was shut down. And I was one of those people who would do that. And so I had to learn myself how to become better you had to become a better communicator.
Absolutely.
And communicate.
Absolutely.
Because sometimes communication is key. It's valuable in growing for sure. Super valuable.
So guys, listen, we don't want to give everything away from this great book. We want you to go and purchase it.
Yes.
Tell everybody where they can get this book.
Yes, Surrounded by Sin, Grounded by Love, 8 Simple Keys to Becoming a Better You. It is also available right now on my website, www.tambracherie.com. And all you have to do is click on book. It's also available on Amazon.com. Search Surrounded by Sin, Grounded by Love. Or you can go to BarnesandNobles.com and search Surrounded by Sin, Grounded by Love by Tambra Cherie.
All right, guys, support it. Get a copy. Get a couple copies. Bless some people with it. I'm telling you, it's such a great. And one of the things that I love about it is that it's also kind of interactive. You have places in there for people just to kind of make notes and journal and things like that. How important is that journaling process?
I think it is super important. Did you do the exercises, Chandra? Be honest.
I didn't finish. I started, Tambra.
Okay.
I got to go back and finish.
But I think it's important because that's what I do.
Yeah.
I think that is so important. I literally did those. What you see, I did that for myself. So literally what you see, I did it. And I think that's important because it allows you to be honest with yourself when nobody else is looking but you.
Absolutely.
So I think it's very important.
Absolutely. And so this is what I want to know. Tell us about, you mentioned the feedback that you've gotten from people. What's some of that been like?
It's been like phenomenal. Like to know that someone tells you, well, this helped me through a situation that I was going through, or this actually helped me deal with something that I was dealing with. This allowed me to know more about myself and to learn to grow. So the feedback that you get, it's phenomenal. When I tell you, it is a great feeling, Chandra, it is a great feeling to know that you help someone else, because at the end of the day, like, I love what I do. I love it. I absolutely love it. We love it, but we are servants, and that's why we are here, is to help someone else. So
Absolutely.
it is a great feeling.
Absolutely. All right, guys, listen, it's been absolutely my pleasure to have my friend, my sister, Miss Tambra Cherie, hanging out with us this week. Guys, again, make sure that you go to tambracherie.com. Spell that for them.
TAMBRACHERIE. Or you can also go to www.surroundedbysin.groundedbylove.com.
Awesome. And on social media?
Yes, on social media, you can follow Surrounded by Sin, Grounded by Love, or you can find me at Tambra Cherie.
All right, guys, listen, make sure that you check it out. Get a copy for yourself. Get a copy for somebody else. Even if you're dealing, get a copy for the sinners around you, And you don't have to give them a hint, but just say, hey, let's do this together.
Yes, absolutely.
Group study. I think it's maybe good as a group study.
It would be perfect as a group, and reading with friends. It's perfect. An accountability partner. Like that. I think everyone needs an accountability partner. Like, I don't want a yes person around me all the time.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
I need someone who's going to hold me accountable and share, show me, or share with me what's helping my good, or what's for the better of moving forward.
Thank you so much for checking out this episode. I want to say thank you to my guest, Miss Tambra Cherie. Make sure that you check out her book, Surrounded by Sin, Grounded by Love. She's one of my favorite people, always so much fun, so make sure that you check that out. As always, guys, continue to stay safe, continue to practice all of the precautions necessary to prevent the spread of COVID-19 as we are all still dealing with this. All right, stay focused, stay encouraged, and stay safe. Have a good one, and I'll see you next time.
It's the inspirational power.